Hello, simplifiers. Diana with Diana Simplifies here. How are you doing? I'm doing really well. Things have calmed down a little bit around here, so I have just a very small amount of stuff from Dollar Tree, not a lot. All of these were still $1.25. The prices are hiking and all of that. Some things are up to $2, which is, I hate to see that because like the calendars have gone up to $2. Somehow I got calendars right before, so they hadn't really gone up yet. I think I got them for $1.50, which is what they were last year. So anyway, they said $2 up there, but when I was like, oh, I better go ahead and get one. They got a really cute one. It was $1.50. I don't know if I've showed that, but anyway, I did go ahead and get a calendar, and the work count, the ones I think I did show it, the ones that we use for mileage because we both do our mileage for work. Okay, I was going to show you this. They've got Disney Stitch color by number, and I had seen this one day, but I hadn't picked it up. I was thinking, well, I don't know if my niece really cares about coloring, but they had, this one's volume 1, so you can see that, and here's on the back, it shows you the colors, and of course, you could do it however you wanted to. You wouldn't have to do their colors. You can, you color it the way you want to color it. But what I didn't love about it is that everything is so tiny, so I don't love to do the tiny stuff. This one looks a little smaller. Got a lot of tiny little details on that one. So anyway, really small stuff, but it's really cute as well. And I thought, so there's 2 of them, so I thought maybe I would do one and maybe I'd give her one. Just something fun for her. And this is actually made, let's see, made in the USA. Right there. So I don't mind picking up stuff made in the USA, not at all. So let's see how many pages. Does it say page numbers? Does not say page numbers, but it's, it's not super thick, but it's pretty nice. I don't know. Just, you can see it's a lot of pages. All right. And then this is volume 2. So it's color by number again. That gives you all the different colors back there. So that could get tedious if you weren't really into that, but anyway, it's cute. I love that little girl. I haven't seen the new one. I never like when they redo stuff. I like the old, usually I like the old stuff better. But that little girl cracked me up in the first one. Oh, this one, why is it bent? The page is bent, that's weird. Oh, you can't see, yeah, right there. No, you can't see it on there. That's crazy. That's the numbers to color. Anyway, all right. So there you go. So they had 2. I didn't even realize when I first looked at these, the first day I saw them, I didn't realize it was 2 different books. So it's definitely, slippery. Volume 1 and volume 2. All right, I have been looking at these socks forever and they were almost wiped out. These are kid size, 3 to 5, but I'm pretty sure Spencer had actually gotten me some kid socks from, I love strawberries. He got me some kid socks from Walmart and they were Stitch, I think, and they fit great. He was like, I'm not sure these are right. And I ended up trying them on, they're fine. So I think I can wear these, and they were on, I've been looking at these all summer. All of a sudden they're almost wiped out. It was the weirdest thing. So these are still $1.25 right now, but I love strawberry. So mostly I want it for that, but I also love that. And in the middle, it's just white. So the white, that's boring, but whatever. You can't see them anyway, they're no show. So it's Juncture, kids 3 to 5, low cut socks, 3 pairs. I mean, it's a pretty good deal. Plus, like I said, I just love the strawberries. And then I've been seeing these for a long time. It's the Cake King. And I saw somebody talking about it and she said it said non-GMO, and it does say that on here, but if you read the ingredients, I'm like, how is this non-GMO? It says it right here. You can't really, it's not like the real non-GMO sign. I like the real seal better than this, but the ingredients, let's see if I can get it close enough to you. Yeah, I don't know if that's focusing very well, but the ingredients, it's a lot of junk. I'm like, how can that possibly, I don't know how they would know it's non-GMO. So it's sugar, vegetable oils, egg, wheat flour, glucose, and it goes into all the stuff that's in the glucose. That goes on, and then it's leavening, and then it's wheat starch and dextrose, salt. There's some preservatives in there, stearic acid, citric acid, xanthan gum, and natural caramel flavor. So the good news is it doesn't have any food colorings. But anyway, I got this because Originally, I had looked at this because of the non-GMO, supposedly. I'm not sure about that because it's a lot of weird ingredients, in my opinion. There's a lot in there that just sounds like chemicals to me. So I don't know how they would know, right? Salted caramel cake bites. So, and it says no high fructose corn syrup, 0 trans fat, but it's still got junk in it. It's still junk. And it also says try me hot. So I got home. I actually bought 2 of these. I'll just go ahead and open because I opened the other one, but these are tiny. So there's 8 in here, but they're tiny little bites. So if you have a really big sweet tooth, this might not be the treat for you because this is tiny little cakes. But it does say cake bites. I don't know what I was thinking, but like, it's about as big as my ear. It's very small. But so I put it in the microwave. I put it on defrost. I didn't put it on because, you know, if it gets too hot, if you put it on just the regular cooking, I think it tells you what to do on here, but I just did the defrost for myself. And I did that for like 15 seconds. It was piping hot. I just about burned my mouth. So anyway, this was excellent. The interesting thing is it tastes nothing like caramel or salted. It doesn't taste like salted caramel. I don't even think it says, does it even have salt in here? It does say salt. Yeah. And it says caramel flavor. Okay, so I ate one first and Spencer came home and he had one and he said, tastes like coconut. I said, that's exactly what I said. It tastes just like coconut. So if you like coconut and you're not worried about the caramel or the salt, because I didn't taste either of those in here, if you like coconut, I would say go for it. It was really good. I wasn't disappointed. It's just like, well, it's not caramel and it's not salt, but you know, it's fine. So anyway, they do have 8 of these tiny little bites in here. So if you're like a big snacker, like my dad eats tons of junk, he would like it because it's small, because he would have like 8 things on his plate, 8 cookies and such. My dad's a huge snacker. He only weighs 150 pounds. Like how? You see where I get these jeans, the skinny jeans from, and I don't mean Jeans. I mean like Genes. The skinny jeans come from my very thin family. I had a grandmother who was huge, really huge, and then my dad's tiny. My mom was a little bit big, but not huge at all. And then my grandmother on my dad's side, tiny. She was like 80-something pounds. She was like a little stick. Like I'm big compared to her. So anyway, that's where I got it from. Skinny family. Skinny family. We have one. My other grandfather that was married to the large grandmother, he was also a little stick. So the whole family's a little stick, except for that one grandmother. And it did not pass down to my sister, me. My brother passed away over 20 years ago, but he was a little stick person as well. So we're all very small. So anyway, if you're wondering, you know, sometimes it's just family and it's genes, and there's not a lot you can do. I mean, you can try dieting, but I'm just saying that this is a big family, big family trait in our family. All right, this is the Extra Care. I've seen this forever, but it was back on the shelf and I never bought it. Extra Care Hydro Plus Hydrating Cleansing Gel with the word I cannot pronounce, hyaluronic acid. And it says compared to Neutrogena Hydro Boost. And I usually don't love Neutrogena, but I decided for $1.25, and it still is. These products are still $1.25. Anything for your face, shampoos, body washes, all the makeup right now. We'll see how long it lasts. We'll see, because everything else. Some of the school supplies, it kind of depended on what it was. Some of that had gone up to $1.50 and some was still $1.25. It's very confusing. Very, very confusing. But this is 6 ounces. It says fragrance free. I'm going to open this because I'm going to just see if it smells like, if I feel like it smells like something. It smells a tiny bit like something. So I would say this is not, if you're a fragrance-free person, for instance, my sister can't have any fragrance at all. She has, what is it, eczema, I think? They kind of say it has to do with fragrances, just like stay away from them. So she has to get she's got like a barcode scanner and she's got to scan the barcodes. And so this, I'm pretty sure this has a little something in it that I can smell. It, you know, fragrance-free always kind of has a weird scent to it. And that's not what this is. So anyway, that's what it looks like. It's completely clear. Can't wait to try it. I think Nani from Nani's Life, who I watch all the time, I'm pretty sure she likes this a lot. So I just thought, what the heck? It was back on the shelf. Haven't seen it in a long time. I would just try it. They have another one from this. This is Extra Care. They have another one from this brand, and it's like a morning fresh, almost like a vitamin C type of, like an orangey. I don't think it's vitamin C. It's like an orangey scent. They have, this brand also has that, and that was back, I think it's called Morning Fresh, and that relates back to something, and that might also be Neutrogena. I think I actually have that, and I've never tried it. I have stuff in my cabinet that I just, you know, I bought way too much, but it was $1.25. Why not? You know, you can nickel and dime yourself that way. All right, that's all the products I have today. I have other stuff scattered around the house I've been using. I didn't do a video, I don't think. Anyway, let's just talk about my dad for just a few minutes, and we'll just talk about my schedule and why I almost never do a video. I am almost never home. I feel like I'm never home, and when I am home, I have to cook. I have to get ready to go again. You know, like I'm having a, I hate this. And my friend is in her 80s. She's younger, like 82, I think. And she's like, Diana, just take the stuff and just leave it there instead of packing a bag every time. Well, I have the bag packed. I just have to put it in the car. And so I just throw a few things in there, and then mostly the bag is packed. And so I do have some stuff I left there, but I do have stuff, I don't know. I guess I could leave everything there, but it doesn't matter. I mean, it's just, I don't really want to leave the clothes there because now the temperatures are weird. So, I mean, we were boiling hot, and then it cooled off, and in the mornings it was not really, it probably wouldn't bother me at his house because I'd be inside and I wouldn't be cold in the house. But, and I've got a jacket anyway I can put on. That's in my suitcase. But, you know, it's like, and I have a pair of jeans. So it's like I'm covered for this kind of weather, either hot or cold, or not cold, but cool. But, you know, the weather's going to be changing, and it could change on a dime. It could change overnight and be all of a sudden out of nowhere super cold. We just don't ever know here. I mean, everybody's weather seems weird to me. It's not, I always say, well, it's Tennessee. It's everywhere. Like, it's everywhere. So I just was like, yeah, I could just do that. Or I could just keep this bag packed. I just keep it in my closet. I pull it out twice a week, take it with me just in case. Because you know that one day I was with my dad and ended up having to stay there, and Spencer had to drive all the way there. It's over an hour, all the way back, and he didn't get home. It's probably like 11:30 at night when he finally got home. You know, that's just a lot. It's a lot to ask somebody. It's easier for me to just have the bag ready to go. So that's one of the things I'm dealing with, having to drag a bag with me everywhere. And then, having to remember to drag a bag. I'm doing all his shopping for him. He's hardly doing any shopping. So I'm doing, I did some shopping for them, but now I'm doing everything. And he doesn't, it's not that much. He doesn't really, he just eats junk food. I mean, it's crazy. I'm cooking for him. That's the other thing. I'm cooking. So every time I cook, I try to make enough where it's, and he's picky. He's pickier than I am, and I'm very picky. So I'm cooking, and I don't like to cook. I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't like to cook. So sometimes I did the kind where you would go to the place and, pick up the Gourmet Your Way or whatever it's called, where they live. I mean, $16, and it's just, it's like tiny. It's just so small. It's like $16 for this, But then I buy really good quality food, so it's not cheap. I mean, it's cheaper than that, I think, but it's, I buy really good, better quality than what they're using. I buy if I'm going to pay $16, I want to use the food that I buy that's better quality, like organic, whatever, grass-fed, that kind of thing. So anyway, not that doesn't really matter, but just as far as that price goes, like I can get the best chicken ever, and it's not going to cost me $16 to cook this, That's all I'm saying. So anyway, what else is going on? Today, it's something every day. Okay, so today was not a day to go to my dad, so that was good. I had to go get my tires rotated, and that needed to be done probably a few weeks ago, but it wasn't way past. I was doing pretty good on the timing, so I was like, I'm gonna go today. I get up, I set my alarm for about 6:15. Spencer gets up around 6, so I woke up when he got up, which was fine because I need to get on there. I got there thinking it's going to be early. Well, I wasn't that fast. It takes me forever to get out the door. But by the time I got there, it was like 8:40, which is that's still pretty early. There weren't that many people at Walmart. That's where I got my tires, so I got to get it rotated at Walmart. I walk in there, and I'm like, well, first I'm in the parking lot, and I'm like, seriously, they already have cars lined up? Like, I've never even really, I'm guessing it's like this a lot, but I don't see it like this. You couldn't make an appointment for this. You can make an appointment for the tires, but you can't make an appointment for this. So I get up there and the guy goes, do you have an appointment? And I was like, no, my husband said I couldn't have an appointment for rotation. He goes, oh yeah, you're right. It's so early already. And I was like, oh my gosh. Because I'm sitting here thinking, he told me I couldn't have an appointment, and I could have had an appointment. And then the guy's like, no, you're right. You can't have an appointment. Okay, I told Spencer, I said, that's ridiculous. You can have an appointment for these other things. So the first thing he asked me is, do you have an appointment? Because probably all these people sitting around have an appointment. Do you want to know how long I would have been sitting there had Spencer not said to me, do you want me to come pick you up and take you to the gym? It was 2.5 hours to rotate some tires. I mean, what does that take? 15? You know, Spencer could do it here. Zit, 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 done. You know what I'm saying? Like, so fast. He's so good with stuff like that. Well, you can't do that because it voids a warranty. So, I texted him and I was like, there's no place to sit. There were already 4 people sitting in chairs. There were, I don't know how many, there were like 4 vehicles, at least 4 vehicles in front of me. Why? Why? So, and it's like, what day's good? Because I thought, well, Monday's probably not a good day to come. Friday's probably not a good day. Today's Wednesday. I'll go on Wednesday. Surely that won't be so busy. Well, they were busy. And then when he picked me up and when we were leaving there, he said, I looked over there, I was like, there's like 3, just that I could see, there could be more, but there were 3 extra cars parked next to my truck. Just since I just gotten there and dropped it off, I'm just like, well, it's a good thing I got here when I did, or I'd be like 10th at this point, right? So anyway, didn't get there early enough. They open at 7. I knew I wasn't going to make it at 7 because I'm very slow. So it's just stuff like that. Like there's always something. There's this deal going on with my crown. Have I told y'all about my crown? This is crazy. So years ago, my former dentist made a huge, I think, in my opinion, made a huge boo-boo. Huge, because I don't think there's any reason I should have an implant right now. But I'm very fastidious about my teeth. I'm very picky about my teeth. I floss, I brush, I go to the dentist, you know, I do and I'm not saying you wouldn't still get one, but I'm just saying I've done all the things. And my teeth are look very nice. They're very strong. And I even said to my new dentist that's dealing with all this, I'm like, do I look like somebody who should have an implant? He was like, actually, no. Right. Because my teeth I happen to have nice teeth. That's one good thing I have going for me. So, so I ended up, I think that my former dentist made a huge, huge blunder. And I went to another dentist. That dentist, every time anything happened, it was my fault. Everything. Bonding fell off, and bonding was continually falling off. I swear I thought it was him. He said, do you have reflux? Well, yes, I do, but I take medicine. So we're gonna blame it on my reflux. That's why the bonding will not stay on. I feel like it's you. I really feel like it's you. So bonding is still coming off, but not as rapidly. Now that I've been with my new dentist for a few years, it seems like he's coming off slower. You know what I'm saying? So he just had to replace 1. I thought something else had fallen off, and so I thought I had 2. But having to replace 1 is nothing like what was going on. It was constant, and I was having to pay for it. And at this dentist, if it falls off within a year, he pays for it. I do not pay for it. And this is the difference. He doesn't blame anything on me. He hasn't blamed one thing on me. He's a very fine Christian man. That's the first thing. We used to go to church together. Very nice, wonderful man. And normally, I would not. I'm just going to be honest with you because sometimes I'm a Christian. Some Christians can be super obnoxious, and I don't want to be around them. That's just the way it is. I'm not saying they are one or they aren't one. I'm just saying they can be awful people. So I don't necessarily gravitate to a Christian doctor. I just gravitate toward who is good at what they're doing. And I heard from my oral surgeon who did the implant, which is all the way in the back, and I have a tiny mouth, by the way. The dentist who everything was my fault also was the one who informed me how tiny my mouth was. I've been going to this other dentist my entire life. He never said to me, your mouth is so tiny. But this dentist that complains about everything, and everything was my fault. Your mouth is so tiny. The dentist I have now, the oral surgeon, I think he might have said something about it just because it was hard to get to, but he didn't dwell on it. And he didn't like blame it on me or anything. The dentist I go to now, I don't think he ever says that. He's just like the polar opposite. He's like over here, and the other dentist is like over here, like a demon. And so my dentist is like super sweet, super chill, super nice. And we used to go to church together. We both left because of the same issues, basically the same issues. It was a big blow up. But anyway, so I have that in common. Like we've left a couple of churches together actually. And we have that in common, so that's good. So like we're personal friends. So there's an issue with this crown still. I've been having this issue with this crown for so long, and I don't think it's his fault. I don't blame him at all. He's awesome. This time he was blaming. I said something about it's probably the lab or something mistaken. He was like, "Oh no, I take full responsibility." This guy is so humble. Let me tell you what I don't do. I do not take full responsibility when it's somebody else. He said, "I'm going to look back at my notes. I bet it's me." And I'm over here like, I bet it's not you. Because he's very conscientious and stuff isn't just happening. Stuff isn't just over here happening, But I've been having trouble with this crown. The whole thing is, it's the very back tooth and the one next to it, they don't touch as close as they should. So when you floss, there's all this food in here, which that's not good. You don't want that to be happening. If you have teeth like that, that's, especially if you have like a crown. I mean, I have a retainer. He made me a retainer and I'm still having issues. So it's like, well, I've noticed it's really bad if I don't wear the retainer. So I'm just wearing the retainer, Well, so when I went for my 1 year, so like it had been 6 months, but it had been a year since he'd replaced the crown. He's like, we're going to have to replace this crown again. There's still too much space. And I was like, but I already knew it like the whole time there's been pretty much too much space. But so the other thing was the last time when he replaced it, the crown came in, he was going to put it on. He put it on. And then he flossed. He was like, this isn't any better. And he blamed that on himself. I don't know that was his fault either. I have no idea. None. Well, this time, I don't remember them doing this last time, but they might have. But this time they mapped it. So they have this thing they stick in your mouth. This is when you know your mouth is tiny. This thing they stick in your mouth, and it's very awkward. It's probably awkward in everybody's mouth, but in mine, I'm just like, ah. And so they're doing all this, whatever, and moving that thing around. And it's all the way in the back. The worst place it could be. Although good for me, because like if something happens with my implant, I'm just gonna be like, I give up. I'm just gonna have a space back there. I'm so sick of dealing with it. Just sick of dealing with it. So anyway, that's why I was like, I feel like something that's not you, because he mapped that whole thing out. He went through this whole thing, and I'm like, I don't see how that possibly could have been you, because you did that whole thing. And I don't remember that happening before, but maybe he did do it before. But that was something that they had done. It was the same type of thing they had done when I got the implant. So I'd had something like that done before. So I feel like I would have remembered if we did that last year, but who knows? Who knows? I've slept since then. Who knows? But and then he's like blaming it. So anyway, we do it again. We do it again this year. So it's been a year. So we did it again. He did the mapping. He and like I'm saying, I don't remember him doing it last time, but maybe he did. But he did the mapping. He did all the stuff. He took the old one off. He didn't even. I think he already knew it wasn't right. He plopped it down in there, and he picked it back up, and he goes, "This is." He's like, "Diana, this isn't right. This is a nightmare. Why is it never right? I just don't. It's the weirdest thing." So I wasn't that worried about it, right? He was like, well, yours is a second generation and this is a first, like mine's a newer one. And they made a first generation. I'm not sure why they would have done that, but apparently I did something wrong, like again, blaming himself. And I was like, okay, that seems reasonable. I don't understand. Look, I have no idea what we're talking about, but that seems reasonable. Y'all, he called, okay, so because we're friends in real life, his wife's hilarious. She's like, well, let me just give you his cell phone. This was years ago. Let me just give you his cell phone number. You just text him. I was like, I've never had a doctor I could text before. Who knew? He called me on my cell phone from his cell phone on Monday. And I was like, this is not good news. If he's calling me, and it was during business, it wasn't like 8 o'clock at night, just having fun or what, let's talk, having fun. It was like business hours. And I was with Dad, so I didn't know the phone was ringing. And I was like, I'm afraid to listen to this message. And the message was he's like, just wanted to give you a heads up. You may need to come back in. Not really sure what's going on. I've done this and I've done that. And I've been researching. And I'm like, what? Why is this so hard? This is not an old implant. This got done finally. My implant got processed. It was 3 surgeries. If you've never had an implant, first of all, God bless you. If you've never had an implant, be happy and pray to God and pray you never have one, because this has been nothing but a problem. Just the crown, not really the implant, just the crown. So Anyway, he was saying all this stuff, and I was like, you may have to come back in. Just giving you a heads up, you may have to come back in. And then I texted him, because he's like, you don't need to call me back, just letting you know. So I sent him a text. So the pastor at the old church that we left, he always said this stuff was bad voodoo. He was a really funny guy, but ended up he was a jerk. But anyway, he was very funny. So he would always joke around and say such and such is bad voodoo. So I just thought it'd be funny, and I was like, this crown is bad voodoo, because I know he's gonna know who said that. And he didn't. He was like, it's not bad, it's just complicated. Only me. Okay, I forgot to tell you this part. So he has two offices. One's closer to me than the other one. And the other office, I hate to go to. I hate it. I hate the parking lot. It's a bigger office. The parking lot it's like you're like this. Like you're like sardines in here. I hate it. And you're really not supposed to park on the street, but that's where you want to park because there's no place to park. So sometimes you have to park on the street. So, and then I drive a big truck, and I'm not great with it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't want to be like this. I want some room on one side or the other to get into a space. I don't want to be in the middle of both. I just don't like it. It makes me very nervous. So the parking lot's small, a lot bigger office. You can get in a lot faster there. That's the good news. I hate going there. The woman I have to deal with who assists him with this kind of stuff, y'all, I'm sure I'm a negative person. I'm never going to tell you I'm not a negative person. I try to be Mary Sunshine all the time. I really do. But sometimes the negativity does creep in. So I don't remember what I said to her. But this process has not been positive. The only positive is I like the dentist a lot. He is a great person. He blames nothing on me, and he blames everything on himself. And he's always like that. He's just so nice. He tells me, he's like, you're my favorite patient, which I'm like, sure I am. But anyway, he's a very positive person and very nice and very kind. So I said something negative about this process because this process has frankly been negative. And this was before this last time because I'd already had all these problems in the past. This is not a new thing that there's a problem with this stupid crown, okay? I don't even think this should be complicated. I think this should be make the crown, slap it on, screw it, put the thing on top, and let's go home. I think it should be 15 minutes and we're done. And it's never like that. And I'm not just driving 30 minutes to where I want to go. I'm having to drive almost an hour to his regular. I mean, it's so far. It's like, not making this up, it's like 50 minutes. And traffic is bedlam because it's close to Memphis. So it's just like bedlam. So the traffic is bedlam. The parking is bedlam. I don't like to be there. I don't like Memphis. You know, it just goes on. And then I don't like this woman. And her name's Mary. My name is Mary. My mother's name was Mary. I'm Mary Diana. But anyway, it doesn't matter. You know, and then this woman is Mary, and she's like, "Oh no, don't be negative." And I'm like, so my dentist really does like me a lot. That he's not kidding about. I don't know that I'm his favorite, but I'm up there. I would say I'm up there. So I think this was passive aggressive of me, but we're there, and I'm upside down practically, and we're messing around with this crown, and she's right here, and I said, "She said I'm negative." I sure did. I didn't think that was appropriate. I didn't think it was appropriate at all. If she didn't like what I said, she could have just smiled and moved on, right? I didn't think it was appropriate to say to me, "Now let's not be negative." I want to say, lady, have you dealt with this crown for like 5 years? Because it's 2025 now, and my last surgery for this implant was in 2000, and I'm still dealing with the crown from something that happened in the year 2000. I'm sorry, 2020, not 2000, 2020. It got slowed down because of COVID. So 2020 was when all this started with the crown. Maybe it might have been almost 2020, 2021 by the time I finally got to have a crown on this thing. But the implant was in by sometime in 2020. Do you not think we are now in August 2025? Do you not think at this point I have something to be negative about? Am I allowed to have a negative thought about this stupid crown that I'm really, and I love my dentist, and I don't blame any of it on him. I don't understand what's going on. Something strange is happening, and we got a crown for this in the past, so it's not like we've had two crowns. We had the original, we had the one last year, and then we're trying to get another one this year. Is there a reason why I had an original crown and that worked fine for a couple years, and then I got the new crown and that worked fine for a while, and now I'm trying to get another crown? Is there a reason? Can you think of a reason why I can't get a crown that fits back here? Because it doesn't make sense to me. And my dentist is not the one making it. It's a lab making it. So anyway, I don't understand why it's complicated. And I don't appreciate her telling me I'm negative, because it's been a negative experience. Like I said, except for the dentist who I love, it's been negative because I don't understand. I only have one crown in my mouth, and I don't know anybody else with crowns that has these problems. Like Spencer's got crowns all over. They're not implants, but he has crowns. He's not running to the dentist twice a year or four. This will end up being 4 times a year, 4 times in this year. He's not running to the dentist over a crown. You know what I'm saying? If he has to have one replaced, not a big deal. Put on a temporary, then you go back get. You see what I'm saying? This is not like that. This is a negative thing to me. I should not continue to have to run to the dentist, especially almost an hour away, for a stupid crown. Anyway, that's just a long way around of telling you I didn't appreciate being called negative. There's a lot going on with my dad. He's doing okay. His sleep schedule, still not good, but he was hallucinating, which he's not doing anymore. It was all about sleep. Everything that went on, it went on in about a 5-week period. He fell 4 or 5 times. He hasn't fallen since he started getting sleep, which if he doesn't fall, I don't have to go move in, you know what I'm saying? Or move him in. I really don't want to move him in here. I just think it's too much with these cats. They trip me. I almost fell today. So I don't think that's safe at all for him to be here with these cats. They're bad. They're very bad. But yeah, it's just like, it's something all the time. Like I said, it's every day. Every time I have some time off, I gotta, do this or do that. And next weekend, I'm finally getting this crazy haircut. Remember when that lady messed my hair up? So I'm going to a new lady. I'm hoping she doesn't mess my hair up. I'm having like flashbacks about this haircut that she gave me. So I've been with her for years and I've never seen anything like that before. And I know I should give her another chance, but I can't. I have not. I think maybe I got a haircut in December, maybe it was January. I haven't let anybody touch me since. I'm just like scared. So I'm hoping that this lady does better. We'll see. She's got great reviews on Facebook. But I mean, the guy who used to do our weeds in our yard, used to do like fertilizer and all that, he has great reviews. We hate him. He was horrible. He was like, I'm like, is he a narcissist? He blamed everything on us. Like this same thing as with this dentist. Blamed everything on us, twisted everything to where it was us. I'm like, I don't see how it's us. You're the one out here supposed to be spraying. Well, you didn't tell me. Why am I supposed to tell you that nutgrass is coming up all over my yard? Are you not supposed to kind of notice that when you show up here? And then I saw somebody post, this was just something I just saw yesterday. Somebody posted that, oh, he stands by his work. No, he doesn't. He tells you you're the problem. He stands by nothing. Then he's like, well, I'll come out and spray again. He half sprayed. I had to pay him anyway. I'm like, I almost like to take this guy to court. He's useless. We had pictures. I'm not going to court over it, but you know what I mean? Like, he's that obnoxious. So just because somebody has said that this woman is wonderful, I'm like, ooh, because I can't tell you how many people will say this weed guy's wonderful. He was abysmal. Absolutely. He was spraying our next door neighbors too, because it was, he was like trying to get extra people because not to drive all the way here. They were doing theirs. They had nothing but weeds. They had some Bermuda and then tons of weeds. And I'm like, what is he getting paid for over here? His yard looked worse than ours did. Ours didn't look horrible. His looked horrible. Like, how does this guy get so many great reviews? Horrible. Anyway, I'm rambling now. But anyway, I did want to let you know why I am almost never home to make a video. And then I had several videos I was going to put out. I was having trouble with Google Photos and Gmail and all this are linked. And they were freaking out. And I needed my Gmail. I don't think I probably need it that bad now, but I had sent Dad's passport off because he didn't want to deal with a real ID. So we just renewed his passport, and it was within the time limit. You have like 5 years. If your passport is expired, you have 5 years, and you can send it off and renew it in the mail. And we renewed ours online. It's like a 2-week turnaround. I got mine in a week online. Spencer's was 2 weeks. My dad's, and through the mail, I mailed it to them and they mailed it back. It was like 2 weeks, not even kidding. So if you don't want to deal with a real ID and you're just like me and I, because I don't want to deal with it either, and he didn't want to deal with it, and you've got a passport and it's less than 5 years, around 5 years, I think it has to be less than 5 years, renew. Just pay the $130 and renew. I'm telling you, it's just easier. What else has been going on? I forgot what I was going to say about my dad, and I don't know, I had a story I was going to tell. It doesn't matter. Anyway, it's just, like I'm saying, it's just one thing after another. All his financial stuff I'm having to deal with, that's just, let me tell you. I could do a whole show, I could do an entire show on don't get a trust. Just don't. Don't get a trust. I could do a whole, that's all you ever hear. My sister said, I think they're telling you that because the lawyers want the money. I'm like, I don't know what it is, but I've decided you can forget it. We're going to have a very simple will. Everything's going to be simple and everything with beneficiaries. And if the family's got to go to probate, not my problem. I'm going to be dead. Because that's all you hear. Well, if you have that, you won't have to go to probate. Listen, we sat around at the bank so long, we could have gone to probate and been done. But we sat at the bank for hours because they don't know what they're doing. So when they hear the word trust, they don't know. They are clueless. We dealt with 2 banks, clueless, both of them, clueless. Horrible experience, not fun. Wouldn't wish it on anyone who had a family member who passed away. Nobody wants to deal with that when somebody has passed on. You do not feel like sitting at a bank. Well, we're sorry for your loss. Great. Could you get on with the paperwork? This is taking forever. Dad is 93. He's tired. I'm tired. Let's go. All right. This has turned into a rant. Love you guys. Thanks so much for watching. And I really appreciate those of you who've stuck with me while with the algorithm, it got a little bit better. I had one video that got 120 views. I'm like, 120 views. That's a long time since that's happened. So I'm very happy. I'm not asking for much, but I would like more than 30 views. That'd be fantastic. Or more than 25. Some of mine were 25, which is ridiculous. Frankly, YouTube is crazy. Now I'm very negative. Negative about my crown, negative about YouTube, negative about trusts, negative about these 2 banks. Love you guys. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.